Amid the ongoing war between Israel and Hamas, Pakistan's wicketkeeper batter Mohammad Rizwan has triggered a new controversy. On Wednesday, Rizwan dedicated his century and team's record-breaking performance against Sri Lanka in World Cup to Gaza victims. He took to Twitter and dedicated his performance to the people in strife-torn Gaza and said, I quote, "This is for our brothers and sisters in Gaza, happy to contribute in the win." Remember, in 2019, India wicketkeeper MS Dhoni's gloves sparked massive debate after he was spotted a pair of wicket-keeping gloves with regimental dagger insignia of the Indian Para-Special Forces during India's World Cup. Mohammad Rizwan has expressed solidarity with the victims of Gaza, quote-unquote, and dedicated the World Cup win a ton to the victims of Gaza. This is the ongoing war between Israel and Hamas. And amidst this, Pakistan's wicket-keeper batter Mohammad Rizwan triggered a new controversy. On Wednesday, Rizwan dedicated his century and team's record-breaking performance against Sri Lanka in the World Cup to Gaza victims. Rizwan took to X, which is Twitter, and dedicated his performance to the people in the strife-torn Gaza Strip. He said, and I quote, "This is for our brothers and sisters in Gaza, happy to contribute in the win." Nikhil Naz is getting us more details on that story. Nikhil, not the first time that Pakistan cricketers have in fact waded into this controversy in an indirect fashion, but this time it's Mohammad Rizwan sparking of the controversy with him dedicating the ton to the victims, so-called victims of Gaza.
Well, that's right, Sneha. He's come out and said it on his personal social media handle. You did give a few examples of previously cricketers, putting any sort of political insignia. You gave an example of MS Dhoni putting that army insignia on his gloves. You had another occasion where Moeen Ali, an English cricketer, also put on sweatbands that were in support, of what was happening in Gaza. So these are certain areas where you've seen the authorities, like the International Cricket Council, take action. But there is a difference in what Rizwan has done right now and all the other examples that we've just mentioned, because the other examples happened on the field of play. We're getting to hear from the ICC when asked about whether some sort of action would be taken against Rizwan. They say, no, this has been done on his personal social media handle, and that's not something that the ICC really looks at. If he had made that statement in terms of any gestures, in terms of any signage on his T-shirt or any other cricketing equipment, that is something that they would have taken cognizance of and then taken action against the player. But because it's happened on his personal handle, they'll leave it at that.
Well, essentially what you're saying is that apart from just some chatter here and there won't be any sort of action taken, and it doesn't even warrant action is what you're saying, Nikhil.
That's right. I mean, though you've got precedent in the past where, action has been taken even when players have mentioned things on their social media platform. Let me give you a bit of a background on Rizwan. He had earlier also landed himself in a controversy when he tweeted on the Kashmir issue. He had actually tweeted on Kashmir Solidarity Day, and that is a tweet that had also come under a lot of criticism, where he had then tweeted saying that he stands by all the pain that the people in Kashmir are feeling. At one point, he had put that tweet out. So he has a history of tweeting. The one thing that you do notice is most of his tweets, which are political in nature, have a religious connotation to it. You've seldom seen him tweet about any other geopolitical situation. He doesn't do that. So there is a religious connotation in most tweets that he's put out. But because it's happened on his personal handle, that is not something that the authorities will look at. As I said, there are certain issues where certain sporting bodies have taken action. Let me take you to the Russia-Ukraine war, where a few Russian players were barred from playing tennis majors. I'll give you an example of Medvedev, who was a top 5 player at that time. He had in fact even criticized Russia, being a Russian, criticized Russia for attacking Ukraine, yet you saw him in the big Grand Slam. He wasn't included because all Russian players weren't asked, and that is a stand that some first world countries had taken. So there is a precedent there that a stand could be taken, but I doubt that this is going to happen because this is a multinational tournament. I gave an example of a tennis major that is actually hosted by a country, and that country alone and the organizing body alone can take a stand to bar a player from participating in a tournament. But because this is a multinational tournament, the ICC are in charge, and they will not take any action till such time any of that happens on the field of play. There was another incident, if you remember, where you had cricketers and other sportsmen take the knee. That is something that was allowed before the game was started. They had to do it outside of the rope, where they took the knee in support of Black Lives Matter. That was also done outside the field of play just before a game started. That is also something that was allowed by the body, and then the players could then go and
Right.
play. So keeping that in mind, keeping the previous examples in mind, doubt there will be any action
Right.
taken against Rizwan.
All right, Nikhil, I'm going to thank you for the moment. Nikhil Naz with that detailed report on Mohammad Rizwan.